To the nurses that find it necessary to aggressively rub a baby with a towel, moms can stimulate their own babies by touching them and rubbing their backs themselves. Moms can also suction their babies' noses with their mouths. If a baby is limp, obviously they need medical intervention. But if mom and baby are safe and sound, then check their heart rate and then give them some privacy and do the newborn checks later. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. If you are coming into the hospital and you have a birth plan, do you know what I'm going to do with that birth plan? I'm going to study it. I'm going to memorize it. I'm going to find out what is important to you so that I can make sure that I protect you emotionally, physically, spiritually, all the things to make sure that you feel safe and supported. And if it is important to you for you to do your own stimulation of your own baby, tell me that, okay? I will keep my hands off as much as humanly possible. I'm not trying to intervene in anything, okay? And I'm glad that you said that we can check a heart rate. Because in the previous video, you said, hand the baby to mom and leave the room. But heart rate is not the only important stuff that we're looking at that moment. And I want to tell you, we're not doing newborn assessments, okay? That's not what was happening. We are doing the bare minimum at that moment to make sure that your baby is okay, which includes a heart rate, which includes respirations, because we want to make sure that your baby's not breathing too slow or too fast. We also check a temperature, and the temperature is the reason that we dry babies most of the time, because wet babies lose heat very easily. And their ability to lose heat is also why we want the baby to be skin to skin. We're also assessing your baby's color, the sounds that it's making. And it's not just for kicks and for giggles or to make you feel like we are trying to intervene in your birth process. The checks that I'm talking about doing with the heart rate, the respirations, and the temperature take less than 2 minutes, and your baby stays right on your skin the whole time. In your caption, it said, intervention causes intervention, which if we're talking about being in labor, I agree with you. Okay? I believe that we have way more intervention than we need. Okay? But I think that you're getting intervention confused with prevention. Okay? Because us checking your baby's vitals, drying your baby, stimulating your baby is prevention to prevent your baby from having intervention. We don't want intervention in your baby. Trust and believe. We do not want intervention on your baby. And I see that you've had home births, which means that you have had wonderful, amazing, low-risk situations. You're biased because you've had really awesome, wonderful, low-risk experiences. But then also, I'm biased because I have taken care of all kinds of stuff, okay? But there are so many things that happen in your baby's body at the time of birth. I highly recommend just stopping this and screenshotting it. I can't go through every single thing, but it's fascinating. But all of these things are why we do what we do. So when babies come out, they're doing a lot of stuff, okay? Their hearts are going 120 to 160. They have a high metabolic rate of activity needed to maintain breathing, feeding, and thermogenesis. Thermogenesis means trying to keep yourself warm, okay? The reason that we dry them is because their temperature drops rapidly in response to the cold extrauterine environment. So they start breaking down their own fat tissue, which is present around the kidneys and the muscles of the back. They can't shiver until they're 6 months old, okay? So they're working so hard in order to maintain that warm environment, and being on your skin is amazing and awesome, but that's also why we dry them, to make sure that once they get that heat, they can hold on to it. I was today years old when I heard that anyone was interested in sucking fluid, mucus, and meconium out of their baby's nose and mouth. Today years old. That is something new that I just learned. And if you would like to do that, you do you, girlfriend, okay? You just got to tell us that that's what you want. And I love it when babies come out doing exactly what they need to do, okay? Because that means I get to check a heart rate, check respirations, check a temp, leave you alone. But it doesn't always work like that, okay? And so we don't want your baby to have intervention, which is why we check all those things. But if you have specific requests at your birth that stray from the standard of care, just tell us so we can have these conversations ahead of time, and you're not thinking that when we're doing these things that we're trying to hurt you or your baby. Also, I can't remember if I've already said this in this video, but we are not doing full newborn assessments on the baby when they first come out, okay? We're just checking the basics. All that other stuff comes way later, okay? Just the basics.